8 first class seats that we are seeing now, 66 business class and 420 economy class. So we'll take a look at those in turn. First the first class compartment. You can see there's no overhead bins, it's all high ceiling as we call it, so very, very spacious and a great ground space for first class passengers who have a very large
screen,
and a very wide seat which transforms into a proper bed as well. So a very, very nice first class arrangement by Malaysia Airlines. Yeah? Mm-hmm. Following on.
Test the leg room.
Please. Leg room and the
it's quite spacious.
hip room as well, if I may, because this aircraft, which has 10 seats per row, same as on the 747, actually has wider seats because it's 20 inches or 50 centimeters wider on the main deck as a 747.
It's true, you've got extra space on either side.
It's got very bright, big windows. You can notice the nice natural lighting inside the cabin that is due to the windows, which are substantially bigger than 747 windows. We did that because the cabin is wider as well. And crucially, wider seats. So we translated this fuselage width into seat width, which is 18.5 inches for all economy class seats, main deck and for the upper deck as well, against 17 inches on the 747. And in fact, for those of you who've seen the Qatar 787, that's a 9 abreast economy class with 16.9 inches, and that's what Qatar brochure is saying. So this is a much, much higher comfort standard, and this is the comfort standard that we think is appropriate in the 21st century, where people are getting bigger and where the change in experience is...
Did you just say where people are getting bigger?
Where people generally are seen to be getting bigger, maybe more on some continents than other continents. I'm getting bigger myself. It's really part of the experience which drives the huge popularity of the aircraft. Here we are 4.5 years after the first delivery to Singapore Airlines, 77 A380s in service all around the world, and people still want to fly on the aircraft, particularly want to fly on the aircraft. You get higher load factors. Lufthansa say load factors are always 90% or above, which is exceptional. Qantas, Singapore Airlines, Emirates, you ask them all, they say the aircraft is incredibly popular. Why? It's spacious, it's bright, it's quiet, very quiet, and you have a seat where you have proper space. You're not fighting for shoulder space with your neighbor. You might want to fight for shoulder space with the neighbor, but if you don't, then you have your own space, and that changes everything. Yeah? So this is really something else. Truly recognized as something else. Don't take the marketing talk for it. Ask the airlines. They all say the A380 is fantastic. And here you have a very comfortable, very well laid out, well thought through cabin by Malaysia Airlines. You see the staircase at the back there. This is a spiral staircase which we will take to go to the upper deck. The beauty of it is that it doesn't need any space on the decks, either the main deck or the upper deck, and the reason for that is simply that we've used the space of the pressure bulkhead, which is the enclosure for the pressurized cabin, which is one-piece composite structure, and this is a sort of semi-spherical shape structure. We used the space inside that to lay out the stair, so the shape came out naturally from that. So very nice looking staircase, but essentially what we wanted was to avoid taking any space from the floor, which is very valuable on an aircraft. So let's go to the upper deck now through this staircase. Cabin crew compartment, you can just take a peek. Go through it if you don't want to. It's for the cabin crew to rest.
Wow, they're like little cubicles.
12 bunk compartment.
How comfy are they? So now we're upstairs on the upper deck.
But the key feature that you see as soon as you get onto it is
storage
that this
space
is a proper
down there.
wagon.
It's
It's
quite
as big
cool.
as an A330. This is the first wide body
the
upper
same
deck
size.
in the history of aviation.
Fewer seats up here.
And this is a key difference as well, because even if you sit in economy class here at the back of the upper deck, the view and the fact that you are on the upper deck gives sort of premium feeling, and it's even quieter here than it is on the main deck. So it's fantastic. It really is exceptional. An exceptional experience. And when we were talking so much about economy class, the reason for this is that the popularity of the aircraft is effect that has higher load factors on the A380 flights, higher yield because strong demand, and so yield management experts in airlines are very good at minimizing or minimizing discounting or not discounting at all, because there's always enough demand on A380 flights, and that is reality. And that makes a big difference in the bottom line, because the aircraft is 25% less cost per seat than the 747, and on the other hand you have very solid and boosted revenue. But economy class is key in this, because on the average of the 77 aircraft flying today, you have 81% of all seats are economy class. Typical 3 class, 4 class for Qantas and Air France, premium economy. Economy class is still the vastly dominant number of seats offered on A380s, and therefore the popularity of the 380 is to a large extent in economy class. Not to say that premium classes are not seen as particularly pleasant, which they are, but what makes the huge popularity and the popular success and the economic success of the A380 with the airlines is economy class. So business class, again, if you walk like me backwards and look at what you see, it's really a very, very nice premium compartment.
Wow.
6 abreast at your space.
Wow.
Light flap seats for 2 more rows of business class. And that is something which may happen in the industry. This aircraft was ordered over 5 years ago. Market strategies, market trends, cabin products all evolve. And so this has been agreed as the last thing to do after the actual delivery of the aircraft. We'll keep the aircraft for another 10 days or so to do 2 more business class seats, 2 more rows of business class seats in this area after we remove this premium economy seat. And that is their market decision. I have no comment to make. This, in terms of product, is a repitched economy class configuration. Other airlines such as Air France and Qantas, they have a 7 abreast, so 1 seat less, 7 abreast, wider seats, more pitch as well, premium economy product on the 380 and other aircraft.
Okay, so we have mood lighting in business class on the A380. And we have a lot of leg room over here. Alud, what do you think of it?
It's comfortable. Very comfortable.
Very comfortable. Should we try moving the seats?
Trying to break it.
Try not to break it. With my short little legs, you can have a lot of space. The views. Let's see what the views are like up on the upper deck. Let's span across the wing. Massive. Okay, now we're going down into the cockpit area. Let's check out where all the action happens.
Okay, so as you walk up, you see your right one pilot compartment there, which has a bunk and a bed and a seat.
Where's the bunk?
On the right.
Oh, on the right. Wow, that's tiny. Wow.
And if we look at the cockpit, here we are. So you may take a seat.
Yes. Cool.
Okay.
This is very roomy.
Very spacious.
So the cockpit is very much an Airbus family cockpit. It's very, very familiar to any Airbus pilot. Learn other fly-by-wire Airbuses, all models, A320 family, A330, A340. Soon A350, they all have a very, very similar looking cockpit, and that's a big advantage in terms of having the possibility to have reduced training times and retraining times, and the possibility to mix the types. Normally a pilot is only qualified on one particular aircraft. Airbus pilots, like for example Cathay Pacific, they fly 330s, 340s indifferently because of this commonality of cockpits and procedures, and also behavior of the aircraft in terms of response to flight control inputs. What's different on the 380 are bigger screens. You can see them in front of you. You have a navigation display which is there. You see at the bottom there's a sort of chart with the green line ascending. This is the reflection of a planned trajectory of the aircraft, and this is a vertical view through the trajectory. So you will see terrain, which is shown in brown here. This is terrain across here. You'll see weather if there's any input from the any return from the weather radar. So it's an increased awareness of where the aircraft is flying in the next few minutes. Yeah.
So I have been told that flying this compared to the 7.4 is much different because the 7.4 you're up higher, so you're kind of
7.4 you're up there.
Right.
You're up on the upper deck.
Centralized with.
And the simple reason for that is that 747, to remind again history, I'm sure a lot of you do know that, but I can't stop myself, was developed on Department of Defense money as a strategic transport aircraft in competition with the Lockheed C5 Galaxy, which won the competition. So the 747 became what it is after losing this competition, and so had the upper deck cockpit because they wanted from the beginning to have the nose door to load via ramps some military equipment, yeah, battle tanks and the like. So this aircraft has been designed primarily for the passenger market, although we have had and launched the freighter variant, which we may return to, but we had to shelve it during the early phases of industrialization of the program. But the cockpit has been located where it is for mainly aerodynamic reasons. The 747 cockpit is a very, very noisy place, but not just that, it generates too much drag due to its shape. And so this cockpit, sort of 2/3 of the way, it's a few steps from the main deck, it's below the upper deck. It's just ideally placed to minimize drag, high-speed drag around the nose of the aircraft.
The passenger first time I've just walked around it, the seats are enormous, loads of leg room, and all the features are really good. The great